Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a shorter video because it's not a story. It's about something that I read about a year and a bit ago that I think has helped me put things into perspective in my life. And it was from this book called Meditations for Mortals by this guy. I remember his name was Oliver. I don't remember if that was his first or last name. But it was a series of meditations, like meditations from like Marcus Aurelius, obviously, um, and it was 28 meditations. So you would read a chapter every week for 4 weeks, or no, you would read a chapter every day for 4 weeks. Sorry, and every single day it would be a different sort of piece of life advice, and it would have sort of more out there concepts like don't don't clean up your house when friends are arriving. And the idea behind that was, oh, if you don't clean up your house when friends are arriving, that can signal to your friends that like, hey, we are now on a deeper level that I don't feel the need to tidy up around you. Then again, you can also make the argument in the other way, being like, oh, do you just not care about me coming around? Is that why your house is so dirty? But then there were other days where they were more sort of more bland, like, oh, don't be a people pleaser. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people can stand to have that said to them. But one of the chapters that stood out to me and that I've actually still consistently been using, not every day, but um, I try and get back to it. And it was in one of the earlier chapters was creating a done list instead of a to-do list. So what a done list is you write things down that you've already done. Whereas with a to-do list, you write things down that are yet to be done. And what a done list can do is it can help you or can make you want to do more things because you start, okay, maybe if the first day you do it, you're like, I don't know what to put on here. I'll put on here that like, okay, I went to work, I went to go shopping for groceries, and I made dinner instead of ordering something. And you know, you may look back at them and be like, okay, I didn't really do much today. But as the done list builds up, you start to get this feeling of like, all right, what can I put on my done list today that'll make me feel good? Um, and it starts to become like this. You start to want to do more things in order to be able to look back at some point and be like, oh, look at all the stuff that I've done throughout this past month. And I think it can definitely help put things in perspective. If you're having like a rough day or rough week, you can look back and you're thinking to yourself like, man, I feel really stuck. I feel like I haven't moved at all in terms of my life progression um, in the past, weeks or months or maybe even a year. And you can look back and be like, no, here's all the stuff that I actually did do and like show that these days were all happening and they weren't just a blur. And they all had specific problems and events and, you know, triumphs that happened during the day because you can definitely, if you start doing the same thing over and over again, like most people say, the days can kind of become a blur and it all just sort of melds into one. Whereas looking back, you can see like, nope, they were all individual days. And I think that's important to realize that like you you can make every individual day into something unique and you can do that by doing different things. And then you can put that on your done list. Like I definitely felt throughout this past uh, probably like a little more than half a year um, since I've started at my in my graduate program. I definitely feel like things have been very um, stagnant, even though I'm progressing and I'm, finishing. I finished the fall semester. I'm now in the spring semester. Um, but doing creating a done list can really sort of put into better a better understanding that you are progressing. And I urge people to at least try it. To at least try like um, at the end of the day, or maybe just like as you're going through your day. Hey, what did I do today? I did this, I did this, and like things that if you're having like a shitty day where you didn't leave the house, you can write some down. Like you don't have to. It doesn't have to all be of the same quality. You could write down, hey, I brushed my teeth today. I took a shower today. I didn't do much else, but I did that, and that's a win. Because there's definitely been days like that for me, and I'm sure for everyone else. Now, you shouldn't just throw out the concept of a to-do list at all, you know, because having a to-do list is helpful. That can help structure how you're going to progress through life. But, you know, sometimes with a to-do list, the things that are on your to-do list, especially if they're long-term goals, you don't really know how you're going to get there. And if you start putting things on your done list, you can start looking at your done list and be like, okay, here's how this thing that I did today feeds into the goal that I have on my to-do list, this long-term goal of, you know, I don't know, getting a new job, um, transferring careers, um, being more social, sort of big idea, nebulous things. Well, I mean, those aren't super big ideas, but like harder to accomplish in just one event. And in this book that this concept comes from, the author, I don't know if this was in this chapter or if it was in the chapter before. I'll have to go back and reread it. But he talks about productivity debt. And he talks about how people, when they wake up, they feel like they are in debt for being alive that day. And they have to pay back that debt by being productive in some way. And that can definitely, I don't know where I'm going with this. Um, this idea of productivity debt is also pretty interesting because it can not allow you to relax fully. You know, if you have a day off and you're like, oh shit, I feel like I need to be doing something. Now, there's a certain type of person that this applies to. I don't think this applies to me because I definitely feel like I'm on the other end of the spectrum where I feel like I'm definitely not doing enough. Um, Now, is it that I'm actually not doing enough? Or is it that I'm actually doing enough, but I have this feeling in my mind that I'm not doing enough, so I'm constantly trying to be more productive. So maybe it does apply to me. Um, but I don't know. I definitely could stand to do more things with my life. And I'm looking into that. Looking into, going out and being more social. Um, but that's sort of all I wanted to say. It's a bit of a shorter video today. If there's one thing that I would take away from this video, or that you should, is to at least try doing a done list. Because it feels good to say that you did something today, and it makes you want to do more stuff. And that's what life is about. It's about doing stuff. Doing stuff, having experiences, and making life worth living. So, I mean, if that at all resonated with you, um, I hope that was helpful. But that's about it for today's video. All right.